So after completing my MBA, I wanted to share my idea with someone that, I want to start teaching CMA, something of my own. And the first person I felt like reaching out to, today we have with us my best friend and our partner.
I have been working for last 25 years. This year in June, I complete my 25 years of career in corporates.
And before starting, I'm going to give you 3 major reasons why you should stick around, watch this podcast. Number 1, Srividhya comes in from a diverse flavor of professional certifications. She has worked with CFA India, she has worked with UK CMA, she has worked with IMA. Number 2, Srividhya is someone who hangs out with a lot of CFOs. And lastly, most important thing, I have seen Hock International working on actively some really amazing modules which are likely to come. So getting a sneak peek into what Hock is working on, what we can expect in some time in near future, that will be revealed today.
In the overall 8 years in ICFI, I would have met at least 10,000 people who I would have counseled, both students as well as working professionals. So there was a time when...
What are some of the common traits you have observed that help those professionals crack the CFO?
I think close to 10 CFO roundtables I would have assisted in organizing when I was with IMA, as well as right now with Hock. We have done 3 CFO roundtables. So some of the things that they expect is...
I used to catch hold of one guy who was at the top, managing director. He asked me a very interesting question. He says, Aditya, in your office, who promotes you? And I said, my manager. He said, no, you promote yourself. I have observed your networking skills very personally. How did you develop this skill, or is there any secret behind this personal touch that you had to networking? How can we learn it?
The CFOs that I am in Connect today, I would have met them in maybe 100 plus events. One of the things I feel is...
What next thing we should expect from Hock International?
We started this Hock alumni network very recently and the engagement is wonderful. The another good news would be we are already announced in our social media.
Hi, today we have a super special guest with us. And before we start the podcast, let me share a small interesting story with you. Back in 2021, when I was in IIM Lucknow, I was doing my MBA, I got to know that IIMA Delhi chapter is hosting a convocation event. And I went there to accept my CMA certification. And during that time, I met a special person. Her name is Srividhya. We became really good friends. But interestingly, what I thought was, initially she was with IMA and later on she had joined Hock International back in 2022. So after completing my MBA, I wanted to share my idea with someone that, I want to start teaching CMA, something of my own. And the first person I felt like reaching out to was Srividhya again. Today we have with us my best friend and our partner from Hock International, Srividhya, who's serving as a country head at Hock India and also board of director. Now, instead of introducing her, I always fall short of words when it comes to her introduction. I would request her to introduce herself to our audience, and then we'll get started with an amazing podcast. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Aditya, for such a lovely introduction. Yes, I still remember the day when we met in the IMA chapter event and the conversations that we had. That was so candid, and we were having a very good, that was a very good moment, I'll say, that I will always remember. And yes, about my introduction, I am a gardener. I grow my vegetables. That's how I want to introduce myself. I have a variety of creativity, ideas and passion towards doing something different always. So I pursue that. But apart from that, yes, I have been working for last 25 years. This year in June, I complete my 25 years of career in corporates. I have started my career with as an education counselor way back in 2000 and worked for many reputed educational institutions. And when I look back my career of 25 years, I see the journey that I have come through, and I work closely with professionals like Aditya who are keen, curious to study and upskill and learn and grow. So that is one thing that I really like about the young professionals who have this aspiration and who have that clarity. Most importantly, I feel like you had that clarity of what you want to do at that time when we discussed. And I myself come from a teacher family. My parents, my in-laws, everybody is a teacher, and I have that passion in the education sector. And I love teaching. I myself have taught Japanese to a lot of students. And so when Aditya reached out to me that he has a passion for teaching and he want to, help people learn the right way of because he learned CMA and he has other multiple professional certifications also. So he wants to teach the people in the right way so that they are able to succeed and excel in their career. So that's something was a common point between the both of us, which triggered the conversation further. I think today he calls me as his best friend. So I think I earned it that conversation. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And before starting, I'm going to give you three major reasons why you should stick around, watch this podcast. Number one, Srividhya comes in from a diverse flavor of professional certifications. She has worked with CFA India, she has worked with UK CMA, she has worked with IMA. So having, perspective on multiple certificates, how the industry works, how the industry on demand side, hiring, placement side works, on the supply side, how institutes think around the certification, that really matters. So to understand that perspective, it would be helpful. Number two, Srividhya is someone who hangs out with a lot of CFOs. So when it comes to getting critical insights on what the future of industry will be, finance as a profession or field will be, we'll be getting some insights into that as well. And lastly, most important thing, I have seen Hock International working on actively some really amazing modules which are likely to come in future for all CMA aspirants, CMA candidates, and anyone who's interested in circle of professional certifications. So getting a sneak peek into what Hock is working on, what we can expect in some time in near future, that will be revealed today. So with that, let's get started. So Sri, I hope it's okay if I call you Sri.
Absolutely. People call me Sri and I love to be called Sri. Yes.
Awesome. So Sri, coming to our first question for the day, what led you into this education field or sector? Was it a purposeful choice or you came across accidentally these openings and you got in?
I would not say it was a purposeful choice, but yes, I had the passion in teaching during my school and college days. Also, I used to help my classmates, go through their subjects and prepare for exams. But that was again like not something that I want to pursue as a career. I come from a teaching family, so that was something I felt like maybe I will not get into teaching, but something related to teaching. And this was an opportunity that I started working with Bharati Vidya Bhavan in Chennai. And that was my first profile where I started working as a coordinator. And when I joined ICFI, I joined as an education counselor. So in the overall 8 years in ICFI, I would have met at least 10,000 people who I would have counseled, both students as well as working professionals. So there was a time when there were people from corporates who used to come to the institute and ask for how do I study, how do I upskill and all. So that was the time I was pitching MBA for them way back in 2005, 2006. And there was also a time when those professionals used to tell me like, can you come to our office and do a session for our colleagues? I still remember I was having a kinetic zing and I used to go from Noida to sector 58 in Noida in scooty and do the session and come back. So it was pitch dark and it used to be like so thrilling also for me. Okay. And the accomplishment, I feel like, okay, I went to such a big corporate and I was in the boardroom and I was giving a session to 20-25 people about pursuing MBA finance. So that was a very big achievement I still remember and I cherish that memory. So I started from that level. Slowly the opportunities opened up. I worked for CMA UK. I again worked for corporates there and then I worked for IMA. In between, I've also worked for a law firm where I was working on the corporate section.
Okay, so that was quite something. And those who don't know what is ICFI, well, it was at some point in time, it was Indian CFA, but they had a legal dispute with US CFA Institute and they depart. Like it's a complicated story. We'll cover it in some other video. Coming back to our story, you mentioned you come in from a teaching family, and this is a typical pattern I have observed, and it's an interesting thing to follow. A lot of people don't know, but even my mother is a teacher. She is a Sanskrit teacher. She teaches Sanskrit to students from 8th to 10th standard, mainly from board perspective. We have state board, and they have Sanskrit for 8th to 10th. But amazing, that's nice to hear. Coming to next part, so given that you worked with UK CMA, Indian CFA, ICFI, and then you have also worked with IMA, what pattern have you observed in terms of candidates and candidates in terms of, or pattern in terms of challenges and opportunities for them? Specifically, I'm interested in 3 categories of candidates. One is less than 2 years of experience, which are more like freshers. 2 to 5 or 8 years of experience, middle management, and then we talk about senior management or even C-suite. So when from each category a candidate decides to pursue a certification, it could be any. What would be major challenges but opportunities as well?
I think most of the people who decide that I want to pursue something which is in a professional level and they want to grow, they are curious and they have an intention to pursue something. I feel they come under the middle manager category with 5 years experience, less than 10, 12 years experience. But they are probably stuck somewhere that they are looking for a growth. At the same time, the work pressure is something that they are not able to, bring that study as part of the work and life and then study also as a balance. Because right now we can talk about work life balance, but when you start learning, you will have to fit in some time for your study as well. And there is other things that come up which are very much unexpected. You need to attend a marriage, you need to do this, you need to do that. So maybe the youngsters, the first 0 to 3 years, 4 years experience, they are still in their learning curve. So they are just out of their college. This is their first job. They want to prove, they want to learn, they're curious. They are learning every day in and out from their mentor at the office. But they are not looking at upskilling at that age or at that stage of their office. This is my observation from the candidates that I have counseled since CMA times, then from IMA as well. Even from the time when ICFI, I had counseled a lot of professionals at that age. So people who have already in the higher level, right, above mid managers, they are somewhat settled. They are able to do some executive programs, online programs that suits them, something related to strategy, and they're able to cope up with the work, life, and study, and they travel also. But the people who are in the middle manager level, they have the aspiration, they have the ambition, but time is something very constrained for them. So this has been, I hope I answered what you wanted.
Yes, of course. So bottom line, I think would be the biggest challenge is time management and taking care of multiple responsibilities.
Yes.
But on the opportunity end, I think upskilling is a part that you mentioned
Yes.
is the biggest opportunity for these professionals. Okay. Coming to next thing, so you hosted, CFO roundtable and few other events as
Yes.
well. So during these events, now this is personally from my end, okay. What are some of the common traits you have observed that help those professionals crack the CFO role?
Crack the CFO role.
Yes.
I think close to 10 CFO roundtables I would have assisted in organizing when I was with IMA, as well as right now with Hock. We have done 3 CFO roundtables. And in my personal LinkedIn network also, I have a lot of CFOs who are connected with me. We have frequent discussions about, yes, their life journey as well, their professional journey as well, and how and what they expect from the people that they are hiring and working with. So some of the things that they expect is the curiosity to take the, learn, as well as the ownership. So responsibility and ownership is something they look at from their juniors, which probably they had, and that had helped them to become a CFO. But right now people are more like, okay, this is my KPA, this is my KPI, I stick to this. If I have to do 2 things more, am I getting remunerated for that 2 thing, which is very valid. I duly respect the work that they will be taking more, and they should be compensated for that. But when it comes to an ownership and responsibility or sharing an idea, like if I share an idea with you, there are youngsters who feel that if I share an idea with you, probably that comes onto me as a responsibility and I have to take that load, and there is no additional compensation for that. But probably those are the CFOs who have not only done their professional certification with a lot of length and breadth and the pain that I've put in, the efforts, and become a professionally qualified person. Like many of the Indian professional certifications they have been continuously upskilling with many global certifications. So if you look at their name, after their name there will be 2 lines of professional certification. So you can see the patience, the curiosity, the perseverance, and the passion they have for learning. And how much ever they learn, they feel like I'm still not accomplished what I want. So they are still hungry. So that is the spirit I think they have been where they are today. And the expectation that they have from the youngsters, their colleagues, juniors, is something like learn, be curious, and come up with ideas, think something, uh, out of the box and contribute, take the ownership, responsibility, and most importantly, the communication skills. So the skills are very important there, where they feel like you have an idea, but if you're not able to come and share that idea with the CFO, then that is a restriction for them. That's a roadblock. So
Right.
they are not approaching the CFO to share their views. So they feel like, okay, we are not something different. You should be feeling comfortable to come to us and talk to us about your ideas. So I have many interesting conversations with a lot of CFOs that I have been interacting in the last 10 years specifically. And each of the conversation teaches me something new, that
Okay.
what they are looking for.
Makes me curious. Anything you would like to share for the word interesting? Making me very curious that what conversations happened. If you're comfortable sharing.
Office friendships and the skill sets. Like one of the CFOs shared that there are 10 people in the finance department. They do not talk to the 10 people in the accounting department.
Oh.
So he brings people together and says that, okay, you are finance guys, you're accounting guys, but why don't you guys talk to each other? Because not always that it's an email that solves the problem. You go to them, you sit with them, have a cup of coffee, have a discussion, and your problems are solved. Now, going above and beyond this, he also arranges this catch-up meeting with his HR team, marketing team, procurement team. So I said that, how do they interact? What do they talk? Because usually the marketing people feel that we are creative people, and the finance people think like we are numbers.
Okay.
So what is there common for them to talk? So he said, that is exactly what I want to break. Because if these people are able to talk within themselves properly, then a lot of problems doesn't come to my table.
Right.
So this was one of the interesting conversations that we have, and it's totally his point of view, that he wants to test with people, and he is looking at people skills, developing that interpersonal skills within the organization. Don't work in an isolation that, okay, I'm finance guy, I work with my department only. I'm a marketing guy, I work only with my department. So don't be like that. So he looks at bringing people together.
Interesting. On the point where you mentioned people taking responsibility or ownership of things, I'll share an interesting story from my work ex. So when I joined Deutsche Bank, we were part of a program, Analyst development program, and through that we got access to a lot of leaders internally who were C-suite or a bit lower than that. So I used to catch hold of one guy who was at the top, managing director, Jason Hale. He was from UK. And being a very curious kid and rather a stupid kid as well, every time I saw him, I used to rush to him because he was approachable. We had introduced each other. So I had a long list of questions which I used to bombard him. And for him,
Just
pretty
like
much,
today, I think.
just like today. And for him, pretty much it was just entertainment. So he used to also entertain me. But one thing when I asked him that, Jason, when are we going to get promoted? I was just 1 week into the office and I'm asking for promotion. So yeah, he asked me a very interesting question. He says, Aditya, in your office, who promotes you? And I said, my manager. He said, no, you promote yourself. He gave me a very easy example that when you take up responsibility work of a senior analyst, your manager by default has to promote you. So don't wait for him to come and tell you something. You yourself understand, learn what things are going around, start behaving like a senior analyst, start taking up responsibility. You won't be remunerated first and then you'll be asked for more work. You have to do more work, prove yourself, and then you will be remunerated for
I
it.
hope this doesn't go against us. Do your work first and then get remunerated. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was quite insightful, and that is something I used later on when I switched to FIS. That is exactly what I did and led to my promotion. That helped a lot. Further, when I even worked with Whatfix or other companies, pretty much I did 2 or 3 internships. All were interested in hiring me because I showed that sense of responsibility. So something very important I just wanted to highlight when you
Absolutely. I feel whatever I told you right now resonates with your personal experience. So
yes,
it's true.
yeah. So, cool. Coming next to your experience with IMA. One thing you guys have privilege of is meeting a lot of CMA successful candidates during
Yes.
convocations. And I've heard so many stories of chapter events or convocation events resulting in career growth or different
Yes.
opportunities during such events. Would you like to share some of those CMA success stories with our viewers? Majority of our listeners are CMA aspirants or candidates, so something from.
Absolutely. So, one of the beautiful things that the IMA organizes is the IMA chapter events and the leadership conferences. So, when we talk about these platforms, this is primarily for you to network. Now, everybody, like if I go to Naukri or anywhere and apply for 100 jobs, 400 jobs, the proportion in which I'm going to get shortlisted out of this 400 applications is very, very less. So, that is not, I would not probably suggest that. The platform that is given by IMA helps you to network with the key people, and those are already a US CMA. So you are actually connected with the network of CMAs, and there are a lot of people who are at the senior leadership who are a US CMA, multi qualified, like a CFO, or maybe in the position where they have the authority to select their team members. They are coming to these networking events of IMA and looking out for the emerging candidates, interesting candidates who they can hire, the potential candidates that they can hire. So people should take that seriously, and this is a benefit that you're getting from IMA as a member of IMA, and why not utilize that?
Right.
Why you would want to sit in front of a laptop and apply for 400 applications, but not go to an event like this and go network, shake hand, and communicate, introduce yourself, and then probably build a rapport with that person, which eventually gets you a job. So, and it's a person who is already a CMA, so he knows what are the skill sets and the expertise that he is looking for in a particular role, and he knows that you already have that. So it's more again the networking skills and interpersonal skills which will come a long way in getting that job through. Maybe not immediately, but eventually when you build that rapport and you build that trust, definitely there will be opportunities for hiring you. I will strongly recommend that the candidates should attend these IMA events and make the best leverage of that opportunity.
Now moving to our main topic for the day, when you shifted from
So
IMA
all
to
of these topics that you discussed is not main topics.
yeah, this was more of a context.
Oh my
Now we
God.
are hitting the main spot.
Okay.
Now shifting your role from IMA or these institutions to Hawk India. How was that transition? How is your experience? And is there any change in your POV perspective when looking at things from a course perspective, career perspective, or anything else?
Okay. So this is a very interesting question for me. So
Okay.
when I was with an IMA, I was working as a corporate lead, and I was providing the support for the professionals from corporates who were planning for upskilling. So when I look at the candidates, so I know like the person is very curious, he want to start the program, and I want to assist them with all the processes for IMA, and they take the admission and they are preparing. The one of the very crucial thing there is progression. So I am looking at how I can help this candidate progress and earn a CMA. So that has been my aim. And for me, because these folks are handpicked by a CFO, that these 10 people have to do the US CMA, and this is the 18 months or 2 years time that they have to complete the CMA. I'm taking that responsibility or the ownership to that CFO, because he has given that responsibility to me that I will help them complete their program. So I felt that probably the candidates are stuck somewhere. They have joined, they are eager to learn, but there is something that is not helping them to progress. That's when Hock International came into the picture, where the value systems and the goal of Hock, Mr. Brian Hock, who is the CEO and president of Hock International, he believes that how we can help the candidate to pass the exam. That is the mission and vision of the organization. So that was some way resonating with me, and I could feel that okay, Hawk material is very comprehensive and helpful, and the reviews globally are very good for Hawk, because the candidates who are using Hawk material are able to pass the examination with confidence. And that's when this happened. The transition was, I would say, much smooth because I had good knowledge about the US CMA and the IMA processes because I worked for IMA for close to 2 years. Uh, I also learned about other programs and offerings from Hock International, like the EA program, Enrolled Agent, CIA program, Certified Internal Auditor, the CFA program, and two more close to heart programs, I will say, that is the FMAA and the CSCA program from IMA. So I was advocating for the CSCA program when I was in IMA with a lot of CFOs. When especially we did the CFO roundtables, I was advocating that they should look at the CSCA program for themselves and the US CMA program for their colleagues and the juniors, one level down. So these offerings were already there with Hawk, so the transition was good. And my role at Hawk has been very diversified. So, if in my perspective, if I have to look at, earlier I was only looking at the corporate segment at IMA. Here I am looking at the learning partners who are using Hawk material to help their students pass their examination. I am also looking at the corporates. I am also the board director of Hawk. So, uh, practically, I had been working on the incorporation of the company, Hock International India Private Limited. So I've incorporated the company in India and I'm one of the board members. So that transition has also been a totally different experience. And last 1 year has been beautifully uh, I would say it's a very beautiful experience.
And one thing I've seen that you guys have grown multifold, and I think the superstars behind it is mainly you and Ronak. So happy to see all this happening. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, now I have two more questions for you. Quite interesting. Number one, I have observed your networking skills very personally.
Okay.
Means right from meeting in Delhi, then again in Pune. Pune, when I was just back during my B school days for a quick break,
Yes.
you happened to visit Pune and you called me up, and then we had a good meeting. And I had never imagined that that would transition into something of
Yes.
partnership, this kind of a thing. So and you are one of those very few professional with whom I have been on a call at even 11:30 in the night. How did you develop this skill, or is there any secret behind this personal touch that you had to networking? How can we learn it and practice it at our end also?
I don't know how to answer this question, but yes, genuinely I feel that this is a person that I can connect to. I'm not looking at you like a Aditya, like it's a soul connection. So if there is a vibe and there is a soul connection, yes, this is somebody that I will be connected with. Yes, that is long term. Uh, However, I network with a lot of people. I attend many events and I use that opportunity to network with people in my table, rest of the table, and the speakers. So, one of the things I feel is yes, networking helps. Like the CFOs that I am in Connect today, I would have met them in maybe 100 plus events. And I follow them in LinkedIn and they follow me in LinkedIn. I see what they do. And there are some common interests that I feel like, yes, this is something like matches to the values that I have in my life. Life in the sense my personal life as well as my professional life. So if it matches to that vibe of my values, then yes, I'm connected to that person more. If there is a disconnect, probably there are some gaps and we are not connected because that doesn't match. So in your case, I feel like yes, the first meeting that we had in Delhi chapter, there only we connected really well. And I see you like quite an ambitious person who is very much sorted, has the clarity, what you want to do in life, and you have a plan for everything. So I remember when we met in, I believe, 2020, 23 November in Pune. So you were saying that I have some plans and I want to do this, I want to do that, but I will go step by step. So I see that clarity that you are not a person who is rushing for things. You're taking it easy, you're taking it step by step, and you are following that roadmap. So I truly respect those people. It's not like, okay, I have that dopamine rush, I just want to do this today and this should be set up in 3 months, and I want to accomplish this. And then after 6 months you find that person, you can't find that person, they have already vanished. But you are taking very mindful steps. And another thing, like you mentioned, we speak at 11 p.m. Yes, but if you're having an idea at 11 p.m. and you want to discuss with me and you trust me for that, I will be available for that person. So the genuinity matters a lot here, and it's a two-way traffic. So you are also genuine, I'm also genuine, so that vibe matches. And if I am of help in some way to you at that hour, so I would be glad to do that. So that's how probably I have developed this network.
I'm out of words to express my gratitude. But thank you all for saying such nice things. I'm so happy to hear. Okay.
It's my
Uh,
pleasure.
Nice. It's like, one thing I struggle with a lot is how to take compliments. I genuinely struggle with it. But yeah, thank you so much. Okay, lastly, our $1 million question.
Okay, where is the million?
It's on the way. It's on its way.
Okay.
What next thing we should expect from Hawk International? To build more context to this, so I've been in touch with Brian for last few months. We officially onboarded him as our advisor at FinStreet Education.
Wow.
Yeah, I took his permission on a video call. He's like, I'm adding you as my advisor now. You'll be on our website, and he was more than happy to agree. And we discussed a lot of ideas. Interestingly, most of it overlapped. Something that I am planning here and he's planning here. I greatly admire that he had such in-depth understanding of Indian market, Indian students,
Yes.
wherever bottleneck is there, wherever they are facing issues, and we both are in a way working on it. So that is something I was awed by. It was quite overwhelming to see. Acha, he has a very sorted plan that he's gonna fix it. But in terms of, let's say, execution, anything that you would like to share with our, let's say, students or anyone who's enrolled with Hawk, that what they should expect in near future? One thing I saw recently was your alumni engagement setup, but would you like to double down on that, and anything else you would like to highlight?
Yes. So during the last 1 year, the you can say the observation or the research that we were doing in India and visiting several cities and meeting the candidates, meeting the partners, understanding what are the pain points, where are they struggling, what is that the student wants. So one is the education which they are getting from the learning partners like you, like FinStreet. But what next? How do they get into the corporate profile, or if they want to start something of their own, the consultancy or anything like that? So where are they stuck, and what are the challenges or some of the pain points that we were collating? So in that, the observation was like, we should also hear from the industry. So that's when the CFO roundtable came into the picture, and we started doing the CFO roundtables, having the direct information from the CFOs themselves. And we understood that everybody had some of the points that they expect from the candidate when they are onboarding them, hiring them, and there are these gaps. So that's when the whole conversation, the brainstorming happened, and we wanted to bring something that helps and bridges the gap between the candidate and the corporate. So we started this Hock alumni network very recently, and the engagement is wonderful in the network. That is purely a peer group, self-help group, which is bringing opportunities, helping each other, and whether it is the skills, whether it is the trends, whether it is the opportunities, they are able to communicate, they are able to share. So the alumni network has picked up very well. I would say that every day there is some new engagement for us to see what is happening in that, and people are joining just by word of mouth. Okay, I am a Hawk alumni, I have joined the network, and somebody else has also joined that network, and they're all from different countries. So that has become a global network for people to communicate and exchange ideas, interact, and explore, grow. So we feel that the opportunities in the network is going to be exponentially high in the coming days, and we are looking forward to that.
Okay.
The another good news would be like, we are already announced in our social media that we are coming up with the CPA material by end of Q1. So that's, please stay tuned for that. that's more exciting this year. Yes.
Okay, that's quite exciting. I think in coming times we are also kind of expanding our portfolio of courses.
Yes.
So something potentially to work again together on some of the certifications. So that brings us to the end of our podcast. I hope you loved it. If you have any follow-up questions, any inquiries, or any question for me or Sri, please mention it in the comment section. We'll get back to you soon. And if you are somewhere in Pune or Mumbai, we'll be hosting some offline engagements soon. So if you want to be part of our overall community, there will be a link shared in the description. You can join our group. Hopefully, I'll see you soon. All the best for your CMA preparation. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.